We are live. I think it's the right moment to share the link to the Facebook group. I will just share it one moment. Here we are. So, this time around, I will explain the rules based on how I made that tier list. The F tier contains 15 episodes because these are the worst episode the show ever aired. The top two season, or I should say the top two tier being S plus and S, well, they are top tiers. So because of that, I decided S plus would only have 10 spots. S would only have 20 spots. Um, the S plus must contain at least one episode of each season. But, there's a big but, every episode there right now are the best. So even if they contain episode from each season, I do think they deserve to be there. And it's rare I say that in my tier list videos. So, let's cover only the two bottom and the two tops. And I've seen the TV show in the last few weeks. I've seen every episode outside of the crossover. That's why I'm not placing any crossover in the tier list. Maybe if you consider 118 as being a crossover, that one I've seen it, so that's why it's there. But yeah. So F tier, season 2, episode 13. Mr. and Mrs. Bislick. I cannot pronounce this name. This is hands down the worst episode the show ever aired. I actually skipped that one because I remembered that one being really bad, obnoxious, insulting, disgusting, each worst thing you can think about it. And I've seen it twice, so it's not that I haven't gave a chance to this abomination of an episode. That's why it's rock bottom. Next up, Human for a Day. Season 1, Episode 7. So this is right after the fight versus Red Tornado. I hate it when superhero TV show do that trope of the main character loses power. What can the main character do to be the hero? Oh my, this is a trope that bothers me so much. This is poorly done, so I actually skipped it because I remembered this one being really bad. At some point, Supergirl goes to stop a robbery, but she doesn't have her power, but in the end, she still regained her power. That episode was really bad. Next up, speaking of the devil, Red Faced. Man, that episode was bad. I skipped it. She fight Red Tornado, and it's not because it's a cameo from the comics that it's well done or good. No, Red Tornado point was to tell us how strong she is and how the military can be evil sometimes. I just skipped that episode. So the next up is the pilot. Okay, the pilot is hands down one of the worst thing this show ever aired. I'm actually shocked the show got picked up after such a terrible pilot. Most of season 1 is really bad. It's awful TV. It's hard. It's like really hard to get through that season. Um, Even Manhunter episode 17 could have been great, but it was poorly executed. It's so sad. I I think it's just very sad because the casting was great, but that first season was rough. So Manhunter, it was good to learn about the backstory of John Johns, but that's it about that episode. The rest of the episode is obnoxious. The military is terrible. They are poorly done. They are one-dimensional, piss-poor character. I'd rather forget about them. I almost regretted watching that episode, to be honest. Um, how does she do it? Oh my, just the title make my eye roll. I can't remember why it's there, but it's one of the worst, so believe me, bro. Oh yeah, Homecoming, the second worst episode, I should say, in the second season. That episode, I remember having a lot of issues. The spy stuff wasn't that great. Monel was freaking right, but people got after him and they made him look like the villain, but he was a good guy and he was right. Um, Martian Manhunter getting backstabbed, losing a fight versus an Ernst Papa Denver. My, that was bad. Childish Thing. I can't remember that one. So that speaks volume on how bad this episode is if I can't remember it. World Finest. Okay, the Flash comes in. That could be a great episode, right? Right? No, it's not. It's so sad that the Flash got there and they had such a bad episode with awful dialogue that reflect very well Supergirl first season. Oh my. Next up, Livewire. Okay, as a weekly villain, I guess she's fine. But the lines here, the story, oh, everything is poorly executed there. Shot through the art. I cannot believe Shot Through the Art was so bad in a so good season. I enjoyed a lot the third season. That was a really, really good season. But man, that was a filler episode from start to finish, and everything is predictable, and it's not good this time around because it's not well executed. It's not a good story to tell. It's just a trope. That episode is full of trope. That episode is like the worst Supergirl could come up with. I'm not joking. Next up, Hostile Takeover. Okay, Hostile Takeover adds some interesting plot like industrial spy stuff and Catco, people trying to control Catco and to take Catco away from Cat. I enjoyed that aspect, but that was the subplot, and the bigger plot was painful. So when your subplot is better than your main plot, something went wrong. Episode 2, Stronger Together. Oh yeah, this is when the Team Supergirl comes up there. Like, James, was about to call him Jimmy, but James and Win are making Supergirl team at the office. Next up, Strange Visitor. I actually forgot that episode, and that speaks volume about that one. Okay, Supergirl Lives. Oh my, that one. Season 2 wasn't the best, but it had good stuff in it, right? But that episode was terrible, because the whole plot revolves around Kara stupid enough to go under a red sun, and Monel stupid enough to follow instead of listening to what Kara was telling him. Furthermore, that was part of Monel character arc. Monel wasn't listening to her, and that was the point of contention. That was the point of conflict between the both of them. But it still bothered me a lot. That was terrible to watch. Um, that episode was really bad. Supergirl Lives, painful one. Solitude. So this is right after Kara learns about John killing Astra, and she decides to stop working for the deal, and that was interesting. I like that part of the story. I guess this is low because this is from season 1, and the weekly villain were most of the time really bad. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay, next up is Fight or Flight. Oh yeah, that episode where Kara is pissed at James for helping her. Great. That episode was bad. Berger Angels. That was the season finale, and the dialogue there was bad. Astra and Non as villains were terrible, and that was like the peak for Non storyline, and that was like how everything ended. That was hard to watch. Season 2, Episode 4, Survivor. I guess this is the episode where John Johns discovered that Megan is a Martian just like him. And that's the episode with Roulette, I think. That wasn't a great episode. That's why it's this low, I guess. Exodus. Oh, that's after the terrible spy storyline. The alien are sent. Well, they tried to send the alien back to their home. Changing. I can't remember why that episode is this bad. Resist. Same thing. Welcome to Earth. I can't remember that one. That's crazy because I see a lot of season 2 stuff there. And I can't even remember season 2. I've seen it like 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. I've seen that season like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I can't remember why these episodes are so low. They are forgettable, I guess. Now, Falling. Okay, Falling. I actually remember this one. That's why it's higher than the others, I guess. But Falling is the one where Kara is exposed to red kryptonite and she's changing and she's more of a villain. That episode was cringe. That episode was bad. The villains, the lines, the dialogue. That episode was really bad. Oh my. This is like season 1 in a nutshell there. Most of the F tier and the E tier are all about freaking season 1 and 2. I edited the guts out of these 2 seasons. So I guess we move to the best episode the show aired. S tier. Blood Memory. I think this is when John Johns realized he is not a man of peace and he is the Martian Manhunter. I think this is the episode. I may be wrong, but that's not that far. Father the Alien Angel. So I think this is the Thanksgiving episode, and the Thanksgiving episode was actually good. Lots of action. and we get to see some battle against the Sons of Liberty. All about Eve. Us, the viewer, learning why she's working with Lex. Uh, we also get to learn more about Red Daughter, I think, in that episode. Wake Up. I can't remember that one, but it's season 3, so season 3 is a great season. And the same goes for season 4. So that's why most of these 20 are from season 3 and 4. Trinity. I think Trinity is the episode where the three world killers are out there and they are able to somewhat defeat them. Oh, Prom Night. I remember that one. It's part 1 of a 2-part time travel episode, and I liked a lot time travel there, and it's rare I praise time travel. But it was well handled. And Prom Night was in the wrong season. Well, actually, it was actually in the right season because that was the final season. But the final season is tainted by bad episode like the Gauntlet. I don't know why the Gauntlet was this high, but yeah. Next up, Immortal season 5 finale. Considering it was a forced finale, I think it was a good episode there. The Missing Link. I think this is the episode where they realize Lex and Leviathan and they all work together, I think. But I'm not quite sure about that. Season 5 is a blur for me. Welcome back, Kara. This is the episode right after Kara leaves the Phantom Zone. And this episode was actually really good. I was shocked by it. They dealt with climate change. And it wasn't the worst or the best. It was just fine. But I thought what they did with the father was good. Kara father was great in that episode. Oh, it's Super Life. So it's Super Life was a great episode tainted by freaking Lena, worst character ever made in season 5. So the idea is great, but just because the emphasis is such bad characters, it was a bad idea to make that. I mean, here this is a what if that happened or this happened, and the idea is great, but Lena being like that that center of attention in a season that did her dirty is so sad. Next up, oh brother, where are you true? I think this is the episode where they explain how Red Daughter care um for Lex. The Quest of Peace. This is the season finale. Lots of action. It was a really good season finale. Yeah, I will admit it. Action packed. For good. I can't remember that one, sadly. Lost Soul and Feet Not. Okay. These two, I will be honest here. I cannot remember them. I think 7 is when they are in the Phantom Zone and they try to release Kara from there. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's the case. 7 is when they try to release Sarah, Kara from the Phantom Zone. What am I saying? Yeah. So, Fear Not is the episode where Kara leaves the Phantom Zone. So that's why it was a good episode actually. And I think Lost Soul is the episode where they are all in the ship and they live their worst fears. I think that's episode 4 for you. Next up, Crime and Punishment. I can't remember this one. Yeah, I just can't. Make It Rain. The witch are revealed in that episode, I think. And Supergirl must stop the witch. Now, this is crazy because 113, I can't remember why I like that episode so much. It's a gem in diarrhea. Season 1 was really bad. I'm shocked. It's so I can't even remember why. Next up is Shelter from the Storm. I can't remember that episode. There's like a big blank. The House of L. Can't remember that episode either. So at least I remember the top 10. Most likely. Episode 4 is the episode where Kara need to wear a suit. Because if she doesn't wear it, she dies from the kryptonite in the air. That was a really good episode. I was kind of shocked to see how good this episode was. 510, the bubble episode. So this is the episode where it's brainy centric. And we get to meet all of the brainies. And I think that episode was really good. It's so sad it's in season 5. Because season 5 was really bad. If you take a look to my top, like in season 5 we got episode 13, which is the 100th episode. We got Link and Immortal that are there, but these are the only 4 quite high episodes. Because then they drop to like C tier and D tier most of season 5. There's Alex in Wonderland that was kind of fine. But yeah, season 5 was weak. The Brady episode was really good. I do think the Brady episode was better than the 4th episode. So it's at the right place, I guess. Next up, Red Dawn. So this is the final showdown between Red Daughter and Supergirl, and we are led to believe Red Daughter died at the end. And the fight was interesting, and it was very emotional to see Alex crying over Kara dead body, because she remembers that Kara is Supergirl and Supergirl is her sister. Battle 1 and Battle Lost. Okay, that episode was really good. That's the big team up episode with Kara mother joining side with John's father, and the entire team is against the villains. Yeah. And they save the world, and John's father sacrifices himself, and he dies, and he delivers the wisdom to his son. Episode 12 of Season 2 was another gem in diarrhea, because Season 2 was really bad. Looters. So this is the episode where Lena is framed. The villain of that week, I think that was Lillian. Lillian and Cyborg Superman, they teamed up to frame Lena for releasing Metallo from prison, I think. And the only person that defends Lena and that go out of her way to prove to save Lena name is Kara. Kara is trying her best to like clear Lena name. That was a really good episode. I was shocked how good this episode was. And if you take a look to the top 20, the only season 2 episode, and I still think it belongs there. Season 2 is like almost rock bottom. Like Mitasai is probably the last kind of good episode the season had. After that, it's like mediocre stuff. So, yeah, I think Luther's was a great episode. I will actually switch Myriad and Luther's. I will actually put Myriad lower. I think Myriad is the weakest in the bunch. And here's the why. I can't remember why I liked that episode so much. I remember this is, by the end we realized the villain enslaved humans. And maybe it's in this episode that Maxwell Lord teams up with Supergirl to save the world. And maybe that's why this episode was so good, but I'm not quite sure. So I will just place Myriad at the bottom of the S plus because I can't quite remember what happened. Midvale. I liked Midvale a lot. Midvale was great. And there's the why. Midvale. So this is a flashback episode. And that was a well done episode in that matter. It felt like Smallville all over again. But with more money, I guess. Because they did add more money. Now I just lost chat. So, yeah, I just lost chat. Anyway, Midvale, that was a really good episode. I can't remember if I had any issues with that one. Next up, The Faithful. So this is the episode where Kara realized there's a cult about her. And that episode was really good. I was shocked on how they tackled religion on a smart way. Because we are talking about this Supergirl TV show. A TV show with really bad dialogue sometimes. So The Faithful was a really, really good episode. But just because Midvale was so good, maybe I should actually switch these two. Yeah, I think that's fair. Now, next up. 4x3 Men of Steel. So, this one, it's the backstory of Agent Liberty, the biggest bigot to ever exist in that universe. That was a great episode. You understand where he is coming from. That doesn't mean you support him, but you can understand why. Because the backstory is well done. And this is just a very good episode, and I think I would just rewatch it just for the fun of it. I think it deserves to be there. It's among the best thing the Supergirl TV show did in the entire 6th season. It's how you make a villain-centric episode. There's just no issue with that episode. It's just perfect. Next up, Prom Again. So I had no issue with that part 2. Part 1 I had a few issues here and there. That was still a very good episode, but part 2 was amazing. I do think this episode summarized very well the Supergirl TV show, and I liked it so much. Just like Men of Steel, I think I would rewatch it just for the fun of it. This was a great episode. It was hands down the best episode in the entire season. And it was probably the best episode in the entire show as well. The only thing that would come close would be Man of Steel or Midvale. Midvale was also very good. So this is my tier list. You can take a second look. At the bottom, we got these 25. And then, in the middle, we got these. So, based on that tier list, you can see and tell my favorite season was the fourth season. The third season was also very good. The third and the fourth season were the peak of the show, and it's shocking how good these two seasons were. So, what would be your top 10 episode of this Supergirl TV show? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to see if any of you have seen all 126 episodes. Where would you place your top 10? Which episode, which season is your favorite? With that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff. And I wish you all a great day. That was a very short